Hi guys, I don't know if you can hear me. Just went and bought all the lumber and everything for the table and the benches and ran a couple errands. I'm headed in here. She's not going to guard me this time, I don't think. I just have a couple things to get. So, wish me luck. We are just headed back from getting all the lumber for the table and some different tools and things, running a few errands. Isn't she a good looking dog? I love how she sits up and looks. We're getting close to home now, so it's afternoon and that's usually deer time, so she's really been into chasing deer these days. We're about to cross one of the bridges over the lake. This is how we get towards my house. I love this. I don't drive across here all the time, but it sure is a pretty view. Just missed a couple of deer. Where'd the deer go? Where's them deers? You see them? Oh my goodness. Oh, there was 2 deer. Yeah. I wonder if there's gonna be more. I thought it would be fun if I took you on a ride and we went out on the ranch. We go out every afternoon like this, and Delta's usually really excited to chase some deers if she can find some. Yesterday we saw 4 groups of deer, so I don't know about today. But anyway, I thought I'd take you out. What's going on? What are we doing? About 5 acres or a little bit more up here in this little flat area. It sits up on the very top. Never show you guys. Here, I'll show you. It's way down this way. And eventually, going this way, we'd be at the house. Place where I cut through right here. It goes way over that way. And then way over this way. And this is a beautiful cliff that goes off about 200, maybe 250 feet. This is a gradual rise. Way too steep to drive a four-wheeler on or even make a trail, but you can walk down it. Walking up is pretty hard. Around this area of the property, we have a bunch of squirrel and some rabbits up here on top. We don't seem to have them down there. More fox down there, I guess. This is just a really pretty flat deal. I kind of thought about it'd be neat to make a sunset deck over here, you know, that overhangs. You can just take a drive up here and just watch the perfect sunset. There's a rock over here that I just absolutely love. Reminds me of like a big old diving board. So you can just walk right out. But I would love to clear some of the trees around here so I have a nice clear view of all of this. Especially in the sunset time. It's really beautiful. I've cut down most of the small cedars over here and burned them, and already went through here and cleared with that tool that I showed you on that video. I rounded up most of the wood and burned it already. View of the sunset. So at this point, the land just goes straight, and it goes way across the canyon. So the canyon goes way down about about here. It's probably 500 or 600 feet down, and then up. Over where I'm building the house, it's more like 350 feet vertical. But it goes all the way down and all the way up, and there's another road over there, and we own to the edge of that. But as you can see, I've got beautiful white oaks around here, just beautiful and tall. Got a lot of maples. I really love this view. I remember when the bulldozer was down here, I wish I would have a video. It was so cool because before this, all I had done is cut my own trail with a machete and a chainsaw. And then I didn't know that the road was going to end up taking the same route that I took, but it did. This is so beautiful. But you can see how thick that was. That is. See, it went, and it was the same way all the way through here. So I cleaned all this up this past summer and burned everything. So this is our road. It takes about a mile to get down it, and this is beautiful. That tree had to grow crooked in order to grow up in the canopy. I don't know how it comes off on the video, but it's actually slanted at almost probably a 30-degree angle. Really interesting. That thing works well. There's a beautiful area right down over here that is kind of like almost a third little ledge or something that kind of goes around the perimeter of this area up here, about 35 acres or something. It's just beautiful down there, and I'm gonna start working on four-wheeler trails. Maybe I'll get some friends to come over and help me with that. Love to have a trail around there. Wanted to show this to you guys. I don't know if any of you know anything about this, but this is what they call a bent tree. When it was a sapling, the Indians around here bent the tree this way so it points down to where my caves are. There's several bent trees on the property, and I think that they want to photograph them for historical purposes or whatever. I guess there's some society that keeps track of all of them because there aren't so many of them around. But you can see how long ago that was. The caves down here are Osage Indian caves. This used to be a hunting area for them a long time ago. But look at these trees. So this is the view that I'm going to have when I cut those trees. That's what the rest of the river looks like, looking that way. I wanted to show you one of my favorite cliffs over here. This one's really cool. Sometimes I come over here and read my Bible and drink some coffee and watch the squirrels jump from branch to branch. This is a point. See, the river comes way out over there. It goes that way too. This moss is thick as probably 6 inches. It's been really dry, so that's why it looks like that. This goes off. I don't know if you can tell, but we're up about 400 feet, maybe 450. Straight down there is water, and there's another ledge right here. That's the end of the road. There's that one big cedar tree that's growing out of the rock, and when I look over there, man, it is scary. It's like 200 feet straight down. But what a view. That cloud over there. I don't know if the audio picks it up, but there's a spring over there with a little waterfall. Look at that. Straight rock face. It goes into this big wash. What a great place to sit, huh? I love this place. It is just so amazing. I remember when I brought her over here, she's a baby, 10 weeks old. I let her run behind my old four-wheeler. I thought I'd see how she did, and I went real slow, and she did good. And she came out over here, and she just started getting on the edge of rocks like this as a 10-week-old puppy. I don't know if anybody knows about Czechoslovakian working line shepherds, but they're bred as mountain dog border guards in Czechoslovakia. So they just take to... See, I don't even know where she is. Oh, I thought you jumped off. This is just her thing right here. The light is perfect now for photography. Here, a good photography muse. So if you can see, I've got my deck there and my camper. The house is going to go right behind the camper where it is parked now, and there's going to be another line of decks. So the house will be over here, and we're going to have this view. And I'd like to have all of this grown in with grass eventually, and I'm also going to get to cutting down the ins and odds and ends. I'd love for this to be grass too, and then of course there's where the power lines came in. I've got a lot of cleaning up to do, but there's another really beautiful area going on the other side of my house. I guess I'll take you over there. What a nice night. The river's down there. This is another area that I just absolutely love. This crack. So there's a cave underneath here, somewhat of one, at least a crag. There's one there. But forest goes out here, and the lake kind of curves the river. And this goes all the way down the spine of the ridge to the cove, and then canyon, both sides of it. This property is so amazing. I'm not going to cut any of these trees, I don't think. The other trees are just going to be cut over there. So on the land, this area kind of encircles, and that's that other shelf or the ledge that I was going to tell you, or I was telling you about, that I wanted to do a four-wheeler trail on. There are all sorts of overhangs like this all along there. There's one that's the size of a full-size mobile home. It's one of the biggest rocks that I've ever stood on and just looked down. I'm like, wow, something. But this is the stuff that I had to cut through. And I don't know what kind of weed that is, but man, it sure grew. I had this all cleared out before that big old nasty weed doesn't get weed eating. This trail goes down like this. past this, maybe 100 yards, the bulldozer can only get down so far, so the rest of the way needs to be done with an excavator. I just want something just as wide as this, and it's not too scary if we could stick on one path, but the excavator needs to move stuff. The bulldozer wasn't doing good for traction down there. So this is the area that I was going to terrace down and come with a deck to right here. Look at those morning glory flowers. I planted those from seeds and they just went nuts. They've done so well. But here was that area that I was talking about, putting the stock tank kind of in this area, and then build a deck around here, and then kind of in the deck somewhere over here. But sitting here looking at this view over there clear, sure wouldn't hurt my feelings. For those who are new to the channel, I've never shown you the little cliff here. It doesn't look as steep as it is. We almost had some mishaps down here. I had to rappel with the chainsaw to cut these, but right after here it drops straight down. So you're looking at the tops of these trees that are 100 feet tall or more, and it's just straight down there. I filled up the hummingbird feeder this morning at about 9 o'clock. Look at that. Half gone. More than half gone. 2/3 gone. In one day. These guys are pigs. I need more hummingbird feeders. You should see all of them. I'd like to cut down several trees over here so that there's a lot more afternoon light that comes into the house, and be able to catch some of those sunrises from this deck will be amazing. I hadn't really intended to do a video tonight. I'd just been trying to carry this camera with me more places so that hopefully I could film something interesting. Film you lot. Thanks for coming along. I don't know if you can see it, how beautiful this is. The brightness of the moon is reflecting off the river. Clouds. The sky is kind of gray. Moon's kind of orange. Make sure I didn't get too close to the cliff. I don't know if you can see. Holy cow, I was using a flashlight to get over here because I didn't want to take my last step. It's a doozy.